point about this I want you to know in 2025 is not only be confident and courageous when around you is scared and terrified. Next, be confident and courageous when others try to discourage you. Right? So God is telling us through the life of David that hey, you're going to be in circumstances where everyone around you is, you be confident and courageous because you know I'm the living God that's involved in your life. But second, which I think is even worse, because oftentimes it comes from our own family members and friends. God says, you be confident and courageous even when people are trying to discourage you. Here you are being confident and courageous and there, you lost your mind, or and you need to stop it. Here's what I mean. Here's the passage, 1 Samuel 17, verse 33. Be confident and courageous when others try to discourage you. 1 Samuel 17:33. Saul replied, you, David, come on. You're not able to go out against this Philistine and fight. You are only a young man. He has been a warrior from his youth. Right? So here's David being courageous and confident, yet he's being discouraged, ironically, by who should be the courageous spiritual leader of the group, Saul. So do you see that? 1 Samuel 17:33, David is being discouraged as he attempts to show confidence and courage. Right? Just hypothetical, no one in particular. Mildred says to her husband, Pete, you know what? I am finally going to start the business. Everybody says my cupcakes are so delicious. I've been thinking I'm ready to start my business. I am confident in 2025 I'm going to start this cupcake business. Pete's response, well, you can. What you know about business? You don't know how to set a budget. What if the orders come in too quick? You don't know how to do that. You don't know how to do a cash flow. You don't know how to incorporate. Right? Sometimes even our own loved ones, our own spouse, our own family members can be barriers seeking to discourage us when we're being confident, right? So here's Mildred confidently saying, hey, I'm going to start my business this year. You can't do it. You might be talking to someone where, here you, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, I want the first in our family to go off to college, and I don't want to just go locally. I'm going to go away to the prestigious Louisiana State University, right? Making up something somewhere far away. And then sure enough, well, you no one in our family has made it. You're not smart enough to go. And why can't you go to local community college? Why do you have to go that far? You're going to be home. It's people in our lives who try to discourage us. Hey, I'm going to go out and open. The regional director thinks I can do it. I'm going to go to the vice president. You don't have the skills. You never went to business school. You can do that. Another one that some people that discourage you. If you're talking to anyone that's my part of the group, here you see Mildred. Boy, she's so godly. She's so pretty. Looks like a young Angelina Jolie. Oh, you can't ask her out. She would never go out with you. Look, all the hottest guys in this singles group have a better shot than you. Right? Be confident and courageous, even in the face of other people discouraging you. David was, even though Saul was discouraging him. Here's the main gist of the message. The last kind of point, if you're taking home, you hopefully would have been writing, be confident and courageous when everyone around you is fearful. Be confident and courageous when others try to discourage you. Then lastly, and probably the most important thing that God would want you to know is be mindful of the basis or foundation. So the basis, the foundation, that's what underlines confidence and courage. Be mindful of the basis or foundation for confidence and courage. I think God would say that, hey, here's why. Here's the root of it. Here's why you and I need to enter 2025 being confident and courageous, even though others around you may be scared, even though others may be downright discouraging you. Here's the basis and foundation of it all, and it's in 1 Samuel 17, 34 through 37. But David said to Saul, your servant, so here's David talking, your servant has been keeping his father's sheep. When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep from the flock, I went after it. I struck it and rescued the sheep from its mouth. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair. I struck it and I killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear, doggone it. This uncircumcised Philistine will be just like one of them, because he has defied the armies of the living God. Verse 37. The Lord, who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear, will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine. Right? So this is the basis, the foundation for why we should be courageous and confident. Be mindful of these two basic foundations for confidence and courage. Here's just two quick reflections. First, David reflected, right, when the circumstance in front of him was scary and a reason to lose confidence, to be afraid, what did David do? First, he reflected on his past triumphs to give him confidence and courage for today's circumstances. Right? Here's the basis of it, right? If you're facing something scary in your life, Dorian, you don't understand. You're talking about being courageous. Man, my hours just got cut. New bill came up. Geez, my grandkids are headed off to college. My kids can't help them. I'm going to have to help them financially. I'm bleeding money as it is. I don't have a lot of money. I didn't have some fancy 401k or pension, right? Whatever the circumstance is, money, health, the doctors are telling you, well, I don't know, it's not too good. David reflected on his past triumphs, which gave him confidence for what he was facing. Remember, he says, look, when the lion and the bear came after me, I rescued the sheep from their mouth. They turned on me. I killed them. Part of the basis or foundation for confidence is reflecting and thinking about, right? If you're scared about something right now, there's a position in your job that you're like, hey, I want to go after this, or maybe it's a new opening at another company. I don't know if I should go for it. I don't know if I should start my own business. Take the time to think about God has triumphantly worked in your life in the past, right? So maybe it's never been this hot girl that you want to ask out, but think about all the other times when God has helped you, right? You've gone out with other people that have said yes, right? Oh, geez, I really want to go to this college. I'm looking at it, but my parents think, well, I'm not going to make it. It's too far away. It's too tough to get into. Take the moment to think back how God has worked triumphantly in your life in the past. Not saying you here, I'll preach to myself first. Most of us, we're too busy in life to sit down with a cup of coffee or something a teeny bit more stronger on our back porch and just pray and think, wow, how has God worked in my life? Journaling is so crucial for this part, right? So if you're facing something scary, you're not confident about something, boy, if you're someone who journals, either through an actual journal book or in your phone, being able to journal, you're able to see, oh yeah, here was a prayer request and God answered it. And geez, let's see, 2013, wow, God did this in my life. David reflected on his past triumphs. God has worked mightily in your life before. So much of the Old Testament is God telling Israel, remember, remember, remember. You can be confident and courageous this year by first reflecting on what God has done for you in the past. Here's the second and equally as important, if not more important, perhaps, the next big thing, right? You want to be more confident and courageous in 2025. Take the time to think, right? We're so busy in life. I got to pick up my kids. Well, I got to, get my husband's shirt from dry cleaning. Blah, blah. Just take the time to think about his past triumph. But then here's really crucial. David reflected on God's presence and involvement in his life to give him confidence and courage for today's circumstances. I've shared before, the number one cited command in all the Bible, you would think is love God. No. Well, it's got to be love neighbors. What's help the poor? Stand up for those who are wrong. No, all those things are good biblical values. But the number one cited command is fear not. Just the book of Joshua alone, God is through the author of Joshua, just, hit me with a lot of fear not, do not be dismayed. So some variation of the phrase fear not. The underpinning, right? And I was talking to my boys this week. I think the number one reason, and it's my humble opinion, and maybe God would disagree, but I think God would say, yeah, Dorian, you're a hick from Indiana, but you nailed it. I personally believe, why does God just go overboard emphasizing for his people not to be afraid? Right? You're waiting for those results. Don't be afraid. Geez, boy, the numbers are so bad. Later, like crazy on my necks. I think the number one underpinning for why you and I should be courageous people, and I'm a hypocrite. I was telling Josiah, or here it is, this. The number one underpinning or basis for us to not be afraid, I believe the Bible says, because he always connects it to this, is truly believing God is with you, right? The underpinning of every command of fear not, fear not, fear not, for I am with you. And I'm a hypocrite, and I'm preaching to myself. I was saying, Josiah, well, you know what? If I really, really believe that God is with me, totally with me, as he says, he's involved and present with me, I would go walking through the baddest neighborhood, yo, what's up? And wouldn't be afraid, right? I'd go walking right through Afghanistan right now. If I truly believe, right? I think God says that, Dorian, and I'll preach to myself, Dorian, you're going to stand before me one day and realize your life could have been lived infinitely more courageously. You'd have taken way bigger risks, but you knew in your head that I was with you, preaching to myself. You didn't really believe that I am present with you. Because if you did, boy, you would just be the most boldest, confident, taking on Goliaths in your life. So again, I preach it myself, but maybe the Holy Spirit will use it for you. Do you really, really believe that God is with you? Here it is, 1 Samuel 17:37. Here's David acknowledging and consciously aware of God's presence and involvement in his life and why he could be bold in his circumstances. The Lord who rescued me. He knew, yeah, man, God's been with me. That lion came, grabbed one of my sheep. I went up and I grabbed that lion right by the mane of his hair, and he tried to turn me and I killed him. God was with me with that lion. And then there was that bear, and him in a stinky breath, and he came after one of my sheep, and I killed him. The Lord who rescued me. He understood God's presence in his life. The Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear, he's with me, will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine. And if you don't think of anything else, right? Every time God says, fear not, for I am with you. Fear not, I'm with you to the end of the age. You and I need to truly believe and understand, and we'll be more courageous and confident in 2025, that God is with you. All right, so in conclusion, we must be confident and courageous in 2025. And some of us are just more timid than others, but God says, okay, enough of that. This is the year. You need to be more confident in your work life, your financial life, your personal life. You need to be more courageous. Be confident and courageous when everyone around you is fearful. It's not uncommon for everybody else to be afraid. You be strong. Be confident and courageous when others try to discourage you. And unfortunately, a lot of times it's our own friends or family or coworkers. You can't do that. Be confident and courageous when others try to discourage you. And then be mindful of the basis or the foundation for confidence and courage, which is understanding God. He reflected on his past triumphs, right? So you need to take God worked in my life in the past. And then lastly, the big underpinning is David reflected on God's presence in his life. You and I will be more bold and more courageous and confident when we truly, truly understand and believe that God is with us. That thing might be scary. That person at work that's bullying you might be scary, but just know that God, the infinite, all-powerful, omnipotent God, is with you. If I can be of assistance with the message, let me know. If there's something going on in your life utterly unrelated, let me know. And certainly feel free to call me. As I said, I'll have to slip out right away, but just know, call. And thanks for listening. Our next thing, next song. Great. This could be a change and growth. Keep it on here. Great. Yeah, appreciate the call. And so again, may the Lord bless you and keep you and cause his face to shine upon you. Hope everyone have a good day and safe travels for all those that are traveling.